Indiana Jones, It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones, Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute, the podcast where we get to the heart of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, one physics problem at a time. I'm Pete Mummert.
I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm Gerald Christopher Hangin' Skins Porter.
I'm Evan Jacover.
I'm Ryan diGiorgi.
Flawless.
Nicely
we
done.
did it.
Yeah.
God damn, that was
right.
good.
On
Oh,
to
wait, I
minute
forgot to
60.
hit record.
Oh,
Kidding. Welcome back, gentlemen.
hey,
Thanks.
glad to be here.
Today we are discussing Minute 59. Minute 59 begins with Willie asking politely to be let into the spike room, and it ends with Indy reflecting on the mortality of all living beings, and more specifically, himself.
Spoiler alert, that's the best part of the minute.
Let's do this minute backwards.
Okay. No. But I got to get, I was going on and on about the shut up in the last minute. This shut up is even better, I think. It's more of a, the last one was, shut up. And this one is, shut up. And it's almost like he's directing it at both Willie and Shorty at that point, because they're doing their like back and forth, let me in, no, let us out. And he says, shut up.
I think he's just like telling life to shut up.
Yeah. Trying to save some kids or something. Get off me.
Tired
It does
of everything.
seem like he's just done. He's like, this is not working. Let's just all just.
This is all ill-conceived.
Well, you know, I know all you guys hate my questions, but
Have you ever shut up?
yeah,
When was the last time you shut up?
you shut up.
Let's go around the table. Who shut up?
Well, I was thinking though, has anyone here ever been in a situation where you're trying to get out of someplace and someone else is trying to get in?
Oh, sure. Yeah, there's like that whole...
Well, say it.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, it happens all the time. There's like the shuffle down the hallway where like you zig in the same direction as the other person. And you're
No, are you talking about like the bathroom
Yeah.
at a party?
Yeah, sure.
Elevators.
It's always when you're on the subway car and you jump in because it's like, oh, this one's mostly empty, and you step in and you realize there's a reason it's mostly empty. There's like a really bad smell or like a kind of a sketchy guy sitting, and then like periodically during the ride, people come through the door from another car, like they look in, they're like, this is a car, and they're in for 1 second, they pop right back in.
But then why are you still in that car to observe all this? Why didn't you get off? It
Well,
stinks.
sometimes you're just lazy.
Yeah, that's true. We've all been there.
Well, that's kind of that's the joke on this whole scene, right?
Yeah.
Or at least the
I guess so,
beginning.
yeah. It's a failure to communicate.
I feel like I've been Indy in that situation where someone in front of me is trying to get out, someone is coming the other way, and I'm behind both of them, and I'm just like, shut up! Like, just figure it out!
You guys don't know how to walk. Just do it.
I feel like Indiana Jones is realizing that his life really does depend on this random blonde woman who, for no reason that I understand, is here. And he's just like, let me make sure this doesn't happen in the future.
That's an excellent point. And I was discussing this with my intern.
Oh.
And you remember we had the intern's intern on as
we
a
sure
guest
did.
a few episodes ago, and she actually had an amazing question that you guys can't hate, because it was
Try me.
have you and it's specific to this minute, have you ever gotten the right help from the wrong person?
Interesting that your intern is asking that question.
Well, and that goes on exactly what you said, which is, Indy is realizing here that, he knows he's dependent on Willie for survival, and that's gotta mess with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He brought this on himself.
Yeah, he did. But he's also prides himself in most of the movies as being able to kind of get out of anything on his own. And he's clearly, like, on the one hand, Short Round is mostly responsible. So he kind of, his other stupid sidekick was mostly the reason that this happened.
Yeah.
But he's sort of like, man, I should have a plan here, but I put a skull in the wall and that didn't do much.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else do we have here? Skull.
A kid.
He's never relying or ever wants to rely on Willie for anything other than, I guess, sex.
And not even that, apparently.
Yeah, not even that, as we've discovered now. But you kind of get like, whereas if you take Marion, I mean, look, he's relying upon Marion for all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
She comes through in a pinch.
Yeah.
Even without the pinch, she just comes through.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is we'll have to see if Willie does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if she does, then does the dynamic change?
Oh, you've seen this movie, haven't you?
Her line here, though, leads me to believe something else, because her line she says, "I'm down here, they're all over me." And to me, that sounds a lot like something Han would remember from the Battle of Yavin. Like, that's something you hear over the intercom. That's why he's about to come in.
Shedding a
Save the day
single tear
himself.
over Porkins.
So is there any way, and maybe this is something that I didn't pick up on, but how does he know where the like release lever is?
That's a really good question.
Well, so Indy says there's got to be a Fulcrum release lever here somewhere.
I looked up, I was curious about that. I looked up Fulcrum release lever because I was like, is that, I know what a Fulcrum is, and there's no Fulcrum here.
Yeah.
And I like the third item in the search results is a clip of this scene.
Oh my gosh.
Well, so we've got an argument going on here. We've been going back and forth on this, and we've been arguing over who set the spikes off in this room. Because a couple minutes ago, Willie sees Joe and Mo googly-eyed and gets scared and kind of screams and falls against the wall. And as soon as she does that, you hear like a sound, like some mechanism clicks on, and then you see the spikes start to move. And this scene makes me think that that's the valid answer, because he talks about a Fulcrum release, which implies that there's some kind of a lever. And that would be, a lever is some smaller weight far away, like in Willie's room, would control some larger weight far away, like here.
Right. I thought I had remembered something even earlier than these minutes that showed what triggered the spikes, and I thought it was a Short Round thing. But looking back, I don't actually have any idea.
Well, Short Round triggers the ceiling.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying the ceiling is coming down and then the spikes as a separate thing.
That's spikes. Yeah, spikes are separate.
Okay, I was thinking that they were just like timed to, like, when the ceiling gets to this point, have the spikes come out.
See, that's what I think. I don't know why you would have like a
What's the
separate thing
purpose,
to...
right, of
Right.
just the inverted pyramid
The
going
insult to
down?
injury.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's one of those, when they're building it, it was like kind of like the pillow fort. Yeah. And if they touch this lever, then it's going to be spikes from the ceiling. And
But
then,
only if a girl touches it.
Right. But only if it...
It's got a cootie detector.
No girls allowed.
This is the type of meeting I've had as an engineer where it's like, so, all right, what do you actually want to do here? You want if people come in, you want to crush, you want to kill them? It's like, because we could do that with just the spikes.
Yeah, we want to double kill them.
No,
though.
you want you need a separate
Thanks for your submitting your
mechanism,
proposal.
because it's going to cost a lot more if the spikes come down separate. Like, that's just, you need a whole
What if the
separate
spikes
thing.
have piranhas on them? Can we do that? Can we have piranhas on the spikes?
Okay, I mean, we can do that. I don't want to rule anything out right now.
Jerry, as a drum expert, would you get a different sound if some of the drum heads have holes that like spike holes?
Oh,
yeah.
that's what it is.
absolutely.
So maybe this is like they're creating different instruments.
Yeah.
This is how they get the different sounds in the band.
Oh, you know what you're going to get? You're going to get a very quick, fast decay.
Aw.
But you're going to get a very responsive attack. Almost, I hate to say it, but almost like orchestral. So that might be what they're going for here. I mean,
So yeah, Willie's setting out the orchestral special.
yeah. It's like an orchestral snare drums have a very, usually, depending on the piece, but a very tight, quick, incredibly responsive, articulate attack. So maybe that's what they're doing for the Temple of Doom.
I will say I'm already impressed at whoever is skinning a full person and getting it all off in one piece like an orange peel. So if they're able to do that with the puncture holes, that's even more impressive.
Well, you got to understand, those are big drums.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you need something that's gonna. And when you dry skins, when you dry human skin, it's going to shrink a little
I'm
bit.
just I'm imagining
Yeah.
imagining Jerry in the temple like explaining
Yeah.
this. Like, no, guys,
It puts the lotion in the basket.
Exactly. Fellas, first of all, I want to thank you for showing up for the Temple of Doom Percussion Society.
Believe me, I've tried it your way. It doesn't work. We need the holes. It's like aerating a lawn. It looks like it makes things worse, but it's helping.
do we have a woodwind section? Or are we just percussion? Because I feel like it's kind of getting samey with just the percussion.
I think maybe the spikes make the right holes in the bones or something, and then you get a nice like person flute or a person oboe or something.
They do. That's a good question. We'll see what happens. What's the instrumentation in the orchestra? I mean, we'll get to that. It's a later minute. But,
Yeah.
But Indy, I'm sort of surprised by Indy's precision in this term. Like he says a Fulcrum release lever, like he instantly recognizes how this contraption works.
Right.
And that leads me to believe that either A, they're in an alternate universe where every archaeological site has a crazy elaborate booby trap like this.
I mean, we know they
Or
are.
B, yeah, well, that's possible. Or B, that Indy just destroyed every elaborate booby trap that existed in an archaeological site in our universe.
Oh.
And that's why we don't really hear about him today.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, was there a lever that would have gotten them out of the Well of Souls without destroying the whole damn thing? Like, was there like you lift up the toenail of the Anubis and it's a thing? And...
If only someone was on the other side who could help.
See?
Oh, it's a classic Fulcrum, crusher room. Classic.
Classic.
Seen a
I
million
taught this
times.
last semester. Yeah.
Well, he
You gotta
learned
go
from
the
this.
right hole. The right hole.
Right. By the way, about that, he tells her she goes back to his hole, and he says, "No, the other right. Your other right." And but that is her right. She actually went to her.
Well, it's actually a nice shot because she looks at the right hole first, and
Yeah.
it looks scary.
Right.
There's a really nice shot of her looking at
Yeah.
it, and she kind of you can see her decide, like, you know what, I'm going to take the easy way.
Yeah.
She's an actress. She goes stage right.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, maybe.
Good thinking.
Well, I think he's just being a.
Well, he is.
Of course he
Yeah,
is.
I mean, he's like, no, you're other right, and you're like,
Yeah.
you do want this person to save you.
Threatens her with his fist through a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I think I love the fist acting.
That was
Yeah.
pretty good.
I've got a big question about the fist though, because he tells her to use the other hole, and she says that one's got slime in it.
Is he just trying to illustrate? Look, it's all slime. It's all slime, Willie. There's going to be slime no matter what. I got slime.
But Harrison Ford really does have a puppeteer's precision with the hand acting. It really does work pretty well.
Yeah, it's amazing.
His face through the hole when he says we are going to die is, I mean, he might as well be a Muppet. It's like the...
And then he frowns at the end like, please help.
Can I say something controversial?
Uh-oh.
Everyone loves that. Everyone loves the "we are going to die," and I hate the "we are going to die." I've never liked it, and I really don't like it, and I'm sorry.
Okay,
mean-
hang on.
All right.
Because I'm glad you brought this up. Because this is a fan favorite.
It is.
Minute. Yeah, minute 59 is a fan favorite because
of this.
Because of this, especially on the listeners, our Indiana Jones Minute Listeners Crusade group there. A lot of people like it. And I want to know, Tom, why don't you like it?
It feels just like it was added like months later. It feels like a weird little insert. Like they thought, wouldn't it be funny to have a little funny thing in this already funny scene, slapsticky scene? And it's just it's totally out of the sequence and rhythm of the scene, and it's just his face, and he's like mugging. He does like the Muppet frown at the end. It's just it's all very silly. It's completely out of place. And I don't like it, and I feel black and blue already from the comments I'm getting on the listeners' crusade. But I stand by my hate.
I want to go. Evan,
Yeah.
do you like it? I mean, I just want to.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, that's fine.
All right.
Weirdo.
Ryan?
Well, I actually agree with Tom, but I feel that way about the entire scene. Like it's such a weird, it's such a weird thing. It's such a weird tone to strike in the middle of this movie.
Yeah, it's comedy death.
Yeah. So, and Harrison Ford, this little insert for me almost kind of saves it a little bit, because at least he's like, okay, I guess we're doing this. Let me put all of my weight behind this bit.
Yeah.
And it's like, if he had just done the "we are gonna die," it probably would have been a throwaway. But the Muppet face, it's like, all right, you got me.
I want someone to do a supercut with Kermit the Frog in there instead, with like his little wrinkled mouth when he's perturbed.
What do you think, Pete?
Maybe not surprisingly, but I'm all in on "We're Going to Die." I love it.
Right.
All right.
And I love how he punctuates it. Like, it's "we are going to die."
Yeah.
It feels like what the audience wants to say to Willie.
Yeah, and even then, though, I feel like she isn't quite sure what's going on. It's like this whole scene, he's like saying all these things, there's going to be 2 dead people in here. There's,
We're dying to get out of here.
Yeah, it's like, okay, good joke, Andy. And even then, it's like, yeah, I'm covered in bugs. I know it feels like we're going to die. It's like,
Boy, you sure are right.
Still don't get
Smells
it.
like death in here.
Where did you fall in this, Jer?
Well, look, there's 2 things here. One of which, obviously, the fist acting didn't work. The fist thing didn't work. He punches his fist and do it now, and it still didn't work. She hasn't done it. So I guess it is important. So after the fist hole failure,
That is the worst kind of failure. Also a failure of communication.
Yes. It makes me wonder, so what was all this ridiculous banter for the previous, minute and a half? Why didn't he just say that at the beginning?
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
totally.
Like, it's a long story, and, come down here. Oh, shut up.
That would be
It's
too
just
easy.
like, had he just started with that. Willie,
Right.
we are going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with him saying it, even at this point, like even this late in the thing. It's annoying that they're just not talking to each other and telling each other what's going on. But yeah, just the way he says and the way they just totally, it's like they stop the movie, cut to Harrison Ford's face through a hole, and he does this little one-act play, one-man play of a guy saying "we're going to die," and then they cut back to Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom. And it's annoying.
It sounds great when you describe it.
That does sound pretty awesome, doesn't it?
And he doesn't like to give up control. Like, this, for him, this is showing some vulnerability. By saying he's going to die. This is him completely giving up control.
And
he
that
did?
face, as we said, his countenance at the end is really, really kind of freaky. No, I don't know if we ever see Indy make that face.
The
No.
face my 2-year-old makes when he gets really frustrated.
Yeah.
It's like the same. It's just like,
I mean, he's and you're being saved by Willie Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
The face says, whether we die or whether we survive, I'm disappointed in you.
Right.
There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, yeah. But he brought her.
He did.
I know.
Yeah,
and
he
I
did.
still don't know why. So
We haven't stopped talking about why. We don't know why she's still in the movie.
It's as if you guys have been with us for all 59 minutes.
Yeah.
it does. This minute does feel like a farce. Like there's comedy. There's comedy in Raiders too, and it's sort of like, a way to sort of poke a little hole in the tension of the action.
Yeah.
But this just feels like a British farce. For some reason.
I made an excellent point earlier in the movie that I would like to repeat because it was so good. I surprised even myself. Raiders has funny moments in it, but none of it is because anybody's stupid or an idiot or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is all because people aren't talking to each other, or they're not making sense, or they're just clumsy, or they're being stupid, or...
It's
Yeah.
like that opposites attract sort of thing, where it's... Wouldn't it be funny if...
No, it
If
wouldn't.
Indiana Jones and a monkey
Mated.
solved crimes. Yeah, or made it, sure.
You know who'd be a good sidekick for Indy? I'm not kidding. Chatter Lal. What if Chatter Lal was a good guy and he was Indy's buddy, and he went on adventures with him? Wouldn't that be cool?
They do not do enough with him.
No.
Yeah.
No, I wish he were the main villain, actually.
Yeah.
I wish
he's
he were
great.
Bolaram.
Yeah.
He doesn't get enough of a moment when you find out he's evil. It's just like, oh, that's that guy.
Oh, that guy too, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. His significance in this movie is shorter than his name.
Yeah.
And it is too bad because he's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
Oh.
this just in. Professor Christy Porter.
I don't know why we keep saying that. We have a sound for that, don't we?
It's got yeah. It's fun to do analog.
It is.
Fulcrum release lever somewhere. This is why you learn simple machines in 3rd grade.
Aw.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I just want to say, and I have no idea how this cave works.
No. Not at all. No, she
Yeah.
pulls a thing and it makes... I mean, it's not... Yeah, it's not like a simple, like, release. Yeah, like Pete was saying, it's not like a weight goes down somewhere and lifts it. It's like... It's all right there in the same place.
Whatever
and...
it is, there's not a fulcrum involved. I could tell you that.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a fulcrum is something a lever rests on, or like it
Yeah.
pivots on, and so that if there were one, a fulcrum, it would be in another room. It seems like.
It just feels like it's the 3 physics words the writers knew put
Right,
together.
exactly. People will hear fulcrum and they'll think, oh, weight, lever,
Yeah, right.
inclined
Well, just
plane.
why?
Okay.
Just for starters, why are there 2 holes?
Yeah.
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 One's the yelling hole,
One's the yelling fist hole.
and then the fulcrum release lever.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm sure that like the actual bad guys carry like a coat hanger just in case this happens. So you
Oh,
take
yeah.
it, you put it out the first hole, around to the second hole. It's like, oh, the spike wall's coming again.
Yeah.
That's probably what that is.
I mean, does anybody? Is somebody on here is an engineer, right?
I went to school for engineering.
Evan's the other kind of engineer. Actually, well, you're also a physics engineer background, right?
Electrical.
And you're a train engineer.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
I'm a
you're a
trainer.
trainer.
The other engineer.
I mean, none of it. I don't get how any of it, but that's all right. We can just let it go.
Can you imagine
It's
the
fine.
mechanism that must be above this room? Like what? And that's like supposedly in the. I mean, they went down into this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a block goes in to the wall, and that brings the ceiling down.
Right.
And also, there's that circular rock thing, that perfectly circular
Yeah,
stone
yeah.
that rolls in.
But also rolls back
Yeah.
when everything gets released. Something pulls it
Yeah.
back.
In
Right.
Willie's
Yeah.
closet, there's like a massive gear. It's like,
Yeah, that's right.
no room for my clothes.
I think there's a gas generator in there or something that all this runs off of.
Right.
And so so anybody else staying in this palace must have been like woken up in the middle of the night by the sounds of all these gears grinding. Like somebody's in the
all these
spike room.
people yelling.
Right.
Somebody clogged the toilet again.
And not to beat a dead horse, but once again, if Indy had just spent some time examining this mechanism and writing a paper about that, he would have had far more fortune and glory than
Yeah.
any Sankara
Yeah.
stones would have ever
I mean,
brought in.
he knew there was a fulcrum release lever. He might have written a paper about it.
Or if he had
Yeah,
just
not this
simply,
one,
he just simply explained to Willie from the get-go that they are going to die.
Right.
Yeah.
That would have been
Yeah.
fine, too.
There's a kid being stabbed to death in here.
But maybe Willie's, like I've been sort of positing that Willie's actually the smart one, and maybe her confusion here is that she's like, that's not how a fulcrum works. What is this?
What are you talking about?
This is a slime hole.
Yeah. It's a slime hole mechanism. Yeah, it's like he was trying out Chinese and it was gibberish earlier in the movie. And now he's just trying out basic third grade physics.
Smart guy, yeah, smart physics guy.
I do like the idea that everything Indiana Jones does is like stupid, but everyone's just like, let him get away with it.
Yeah, he's the eminent archaeologist.
Why is he letting a kid drive that car? I don't know. Don't talk to him.
Indiana Jones in being there.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Physics and math are not my strong suit, but if my math is correct, I think we're halfway through the movie right now.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, about, right?
Here's what I did. There's 119 minutes in the movie, and I divided that by 2, and
Slow
I
down.
came up with like, okay, hang on. It's not going to come out evenly. That's what's weird. It's like 58 point something.
Yeah.
So I think as somewhere in this minute.
Carry the
would be-
fulcrum.
Yeah, carry the fulcrum, get the slime on it, and then yank, and then you get like 58-ish something. So I think we're like halfway through the movie right now.
So we just blew right by the halfway point.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I figured it was 58 or 59, and I can't do the math again. Come on.
No.
Somebody at home, somebody in the listeners' crusade, please do some math and let us know if we are in fact halfway through the movie.
And while you're doing the math, explain how the device works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please. We need diagrams. We need things. Yeah.
I'd love to see a diagram for every trap in all of the Indiana Jones movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I would. Yeah, I would love.
Oh,
That would be a great one of
believe
those
me,
like
there's
DK books.
people who do that out there.
Is
Oh,
there
yeah.
any like basis at all, even the slightest shred of these elaborate traps in ruins and temples that actually exist?
I can only assume so. I'm sure it's spot on.
And most of the ones I've seen have only one hole.
Well, you'll get killed that way. That's ridiculous.
2 slime holes is baloney.
I couldn't even threaten my traveling companion.
Yeah, I just had to yell at him.
I threatened it, but it just blew slime bubbles everywhere. Anyway, he's dead.
Good.
All right. Well, Evan and Ryan, if somebody wants to get a closer look at your guys' face, where might they do that? Or what's
Well,
something you guys are working
our
on, like,
faces
talking about?
have been erased from the internet, but you can
Oh.
see our work at hellofromthemagictavern.com, where we are both producers on that podcast, or jackboxgames.com, where we both make video games.
It's all true.
You corroborate Evan's story?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Jerry, if someone wants to write in and not corroborate one of our stories or get in touch with us, how might they do that?
Well, write in. I'd say, hell no, don't write in. What you should do is call in
What?
the Indiana Jones Hatline. And no, I didn't come up with that. That was
really good.
can't take credit. Yeah, that for one of our listeners, Crusaders, called it that. But yes, the Indiana Jones Hotline, 724 Lost Ark. Call and actually tell us if you think Pete is right with that whole Spike scenario, or is Tom right? Because I can't decide. I'm on the fence, and I like both of them. The people,
Aw.
that is. The
You're a good friend, Jerry.
So,
You're just going to draw this out until we're all bitter and actually angry.
And please join us back here tomorrow, all 5 of us, one more time for minute 60 of the Indiana Jones Minute.
Shut up!
do it now!
I can't shoot.
Yeah, I was going to say, everybody's really freaked out now.
Yeah.
What's going on in there?
They think
What's
we're
going
really
on in
mad at
that
each
room?
other, Jerry.
Yeah, what's wrong with Jerry and his
We took it
friends?
too far.